Welcome back to our Online Survival 3 podcast. Full house today. So we're just going to get right into it. I don't know if big money Josh Van Guy is coming because he's in a poker tournament, but he might be coming later if he could get home on time. He was on his way home, so we'll see. But until then, we'll talk about his demise without him. But first, ups and downs for whoever wants to go first.
I wasn't here last week, so let me get mine in here. My down is Alex. He's just, especially after last episode, you can see how lost he is. He was on the wrong side of the vote last time. He thought he got on the right side of the vote this time, which he was until T showed up, which is why I'm giving T my up this week. She played her advantage at the right time, saved her boy Anthony. Now they know that everybody's kind of against them and they've got the information they need to go forward.
What about the rest of y'all?
Well, I'll jump on that train and say T. Good job, T. My hat is off to T. She has correctly used her advantage, and for that, like she get points in my book. Alex definitely is losing it. He losing it. He too paranoid. He done lost control. And honestly, I probably throw Dot and Alex both as downs, even though I don't know. I don't like they little I don't know. I'm interested.
They're beefing.
Yes. I don't like that. I hate it. I wanted them to work together and be, the ultimate duo that I thought they could be, but I don't know.
I want to tag on to that just a little bit because I almost put Dot up from the beginning of the episode, and then he started telling everybody that it was him that voted for Alex. And I was like, bro, you should have just kept that to yourself. Like, I knew T was already on it, but I did have him up and I scribbled him out for T. And I'm kind of wanting to put Dot down, but he's in the middle for me.
All right. Well, here's going to be my hot take. I'm going to put Carrie down. I think she won the immunity, and I don't think she needed it. And I think her biggest, concrete mistake was sending John to exile. He was a number, and John's immediate thought wasn't "thank you, Carrie." John's immediate thought was "why." So that's not the best thing. You should never send someone to exile and have them thinking, is this a bad thing? They should know you should not have anyone questioning why you're sending them. That was, I don't think, the right decision. Obviously, she didn't know that he was going to react like that. And also she lost someone she really trusted this vote. And so I think I just have to give her the down this time. And I actually am going to be a pretty big contrarian here because I'm going to put, besides T's obviously an up, but I'm also going to give an up to Dot. I think he played really well this episode. I think you have to trust people, and he's really, really, really trying to get Anthony and T and Rochelle to believe in him and trust him, and giving them a piece of information that, yeah, it can potentially sink you, but giving them someone an information like that, that's a good sign of trust. And he's already being trusted enough that Anthony's like, oh shit, okay, Dot, you there's an advantage. You need to tell T to play it this way. He had enough trust in him to tell him about that. So, and I can't really give it to Anthony, or I'm still giving T an up because she correctly played it and everything. But the very fact that Anthony told someone about the advantage that he wasn't supposed to tell anyone about, I mean, you got to give props to the person who got that out of him just by being honest in themselves. So I'm giving it up to Dot.
I agree with Mike. Dot was going to be one of my ups. It was just that one mistake that I thought he made. But he's playing two sides. He's playing the returnees and he's playing the Nunus, got them in his pocket, and he's doing a really good job of it. So I think overall, game-wise, Dot isn't up. But for this episode, I think he had a couple missteps. He's playing. He said he's been taking notes, and he's been taking the right notes because he's playing a pretty damn good game.
Who's he emulating, Days? Who's he emulating?
I mean, I think he's playing an Alex game, but not catching the heat for lying like Alex would.
Yeah.
I think
I
his
can see
social
it.
game is better than Alex, and
I mean,
he's in a
it's
good
the winning
spot to do
game
it.
he like directly experienced the most, you know.
That's true. But did he or did he not just not vote with Anthony, Rochelle, and T?
It was part of the plan. There was like 2 sentences in their big
That's-
chat. There were 2 sentences that said we need to throw a few votes on Fan Guy so that when the votes get switched, it isn't like super suspicious because they're going to be like, I think
Yep.
2 is the perfect number because you know it's you and one other person. And who's that other
Who
person?
else was
Why
it?
did everyone flip on me? You know, it was Anthony voting Fan Guy and I believe Dot voting Fan Guy, and then they got switched to both
It
be
was
on
Anthony and
Anthony.
Rochelle.
It was okay, so he did vote. Yeah, but he was in on the plan to vote Anthony. The point is they
Right.
were like putting votes there so that it's gonna sow this chaos that we can see in the preview. And that was a really smart play of the advantage. I don't remember whose idea that was, but I'm giving massive props to that person.
Yeah, I was gonna
I think it
ask,
was
like, how
Dot's.
does Dot get out of voting Anthony? But it was a part of the plan for I think him and maybe Nav to vote Anthony just so that they knew the votes were gonna get switched. So
Yeah, I
Nav
know.
didn't know. Nav
Nav.
didn't know. Nav was in the dust this episode.
okay.
Yeah,
I
I
he
mean, I
was-
had I had him as a swing vote regardless, but the votes in general this episode confused the fuck out of me. So
yeah.
put me down for the episode because I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Well, speaking of confusing votes, we're still confused about the last vote in this episode. And we will begin with Anthony saying to Alex that it was Miguel that voted for Alex and everybody going and running with that. I mean, why do you think that happened? And is it helping that? Or do you guys still all believe that he should have told other people that he did it?
I
I'm-
thought Anthony knew and was covering for Dot from like the drop, but he
I mean,
clearly
shit,
didn't.
Dot thought he was covering for his ass.
Right.
No, I think Anthony genuinely thought he convinced Miguel to vote for Alex in that last episode when they had that conversation.
So Anthony was trying to get some respect on his name by saying,
Probably, yeah.
okay, yeah, all right. But he
Still
was
ain't
just
got no
as in the
respect.
dark as everybody else.
Yes. No, Anthony. Oh God, I feel bad for the poor kid, bro, because like he just be all over the place. Like it just was so crazy that he did it and he didn't even know. He can't even watch what he say sometimes, you know. Like I think he don't even think about it. He just be like, blah, 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 you know, it's like diarrhea of the
That's for
fucking
sure.
mouth.
I don't feel bad for him. I think he's playing a good game. I mean, I think I was going through the numbers in my head and I was like, I don't think they need the advantage here. They have Anthony, T, Dot, and Rochelle. That's half the tribe. I mean,
I think they only would have
Yeah.
needed it because Van Guys was playing his block of vote.
yeah, I think with the block vote, you might consider needing it, but I'm pretty sure now, especially, Anthony's in a good spot. All that he needs to do is not do the most. Just sit back for like once, man. But he's doing whatever. I mean, I don't know. He's doing really well. I think he's playing a good game because he keeps getting out of these like getting targeted. I think that's impressive. And if he does make it to the end, that's gonna win you points with the jury. I think. That's
I think
respectable.
so, but not over Rochelle or T.
Yeah.
Not gonna make it all the way there and then beat them two out for the win. I highly doubt that. I love him to death. I like to see him in here, but he'll slide by one more round because this round definitely gonna be about Dot and Alex and who the fuck takes over that demise. But Anthony it don't look good for him, you know, like he don't win individual immunities. And so like he kind of is just always a target. I feel like they kind of feel like he exposable, expendable, and they know he's not gonna win. Like what really has he done on his resume to be like, yeah, he does deserve to win?
He targeted a lot and survived. I mean, it's respect if he can spin it the right way.
He's the one that catches votes instead of the people that are running the game. And right now, folks like Rochelle, Dot, kind of T are running this game. And Anthony's the guy that just gets the votes and may accidentally go home when not supposed to. But early on in this episode, at the very beginning, 3-star question for me: can Rochelle get out John or Fan Guy this episode, and that was the big question for me. And she pulled it off
She did.
again.
She has two moves back to back on her resume that, to me, it's like, damn, y'all need to step it up if y'all gonna, like be able to compete with her when it comes to that final, because she looking real good right now.
And
Like,
okay,
we're
her
giving
biggest
props
enemy's gone.
we're giving props for T for playing the advantage, but again, Rochelle got out her target once again, and it's like y'all aren't even suspecting her. Like, there's inklings of, oh yeah, Rochelle pulled that Miguel shit, but she just pulled that shit on Fan Guy again. What are y'all gonna do about it?
Cut his neck. Hey, shout out to my girl for taking Fan Guy out. She deserved that shit, yo. That was her redemption from all around. It's sad to see my team AOL get down like that, but hey, you know how it goes. But honestly, bro, I was gonna ask, like, I know Fan Guy said he gave not Rochelle, but T his vote for being honest. Do you think that you don't think so?
He was putting a target on her. He's putting a target on her.
Did you guys watch the Ponderosa, Cam DeRosa?
Not yet.
No,
I'll get into that quite yet. We'll get into that towards the end. But
all right.
Let's go on to Carrie winning the competition. Do you guys have any thoughts on that tough state fact competition?
Good for her. I mean,
I think, didn't I say last week that Alex was gonna win? I believe I said that. And then
he almost did.
I know. I'm like, how did Alex not win? He kind of deserved that win. I feel like it was lame that Carrie came in and got it at the end because of that one question. But I mean, she like me and Mike said, like, she is very underrated. We don't be giving her props sometimes. So good job, Carrie. We gonna give her props. All y'all, let's give her props that she deserves. Good job on winning the challenge, Carrie. I guess she's not as dumb as we thought. I don't know.
She's smart. She's just
ditzy. She would describe herself as ditzy, being a
but my thing was, did she actually have to win it? I mean, I still don't think she's a target after this. Like, Anthony and T are caught up in this other, trying to figure out this beef between Dot and Alex and Fan Guy at the time, and now possibly John, that she's in a position where she can skate a little further, and winning these comps, even though she's not being a target, it is adding to her resume. Like, she's able to win all these without being the target after the fact. Like, she is definitely building the underdog resume, the comeback from behind, the comeback kid like Aspen, and they're going to let her get to the end. So when do they start trying to target her because of that good story that she has?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is she in a perfect position? She reminds me of me in our first season, where she just can ride the middle and nobody like even fucking notices her, and like, I don't know, she in a pretty good position. Carrie gonna make it far if she can stay out the way enough, but she did take a L because she lost Fan Guy, which he was on her side, but he did kind of blow up and put her in a weird spot by being like, Carrie, you the only one I trust, like, Fan Guy just fuck people over. I can't wait. I hope he do come, because I'm gonna tell him about himself.
The only negative with Carrie right now, she's not controlling anything. Like, she is surviving, she is winning competitions, but she's not controlling anything. She's found herself on the wrong side of the vote quite a few times, with the exception of this one. And if it's not for T, she's in the majority this time. But I mean, if you're surviving, you're surviving, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think she's underrated, but I honestly I'm failing more and more to see like a legitimate path for her to like actually win the whole game. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I feel like she doesn't know a lot of this shit that's going on like outside of her immediate connections, and that's dangerous when you don't seem to know exactly what Rochelle's doing. It's not good for her.
Yeah, I think she definitely wanted to stick to returnees way too much, way more than other people did, and I think that she should have let that idea go a long time ago. I'm curious as to if y'all think Anthony and T would be willing to work with her again, when shit gets more down to it. You think they would be willing to?
Number wise, but does Carrie want to work with them?
If she's desperate enough, she'll need to.
I honestly think Carrie would have dumped that all returnees shit if we had if Anthony and T hadn't screwed her over in the manner that they did. Like I feel like that was the moment that sealed Carrie's fate as just like all returnees, which I said a few episodes ago that is gonna collapse inevitably, and it has started to, and we already have Dot and Alex ready to go at it. So it's falling apart.
I don't think Carrie realizes how close Dot is playing with the Nunus. And that's
No, she doesn't.
kind of just obliterated this entire returnees alliance. Dot playing both sides of it.
You guys have any thoughts on the duo that almost was between Fanguy and John? John warning Fanguy that he's being targeted, and then John getting sent to exile by Carrie.
I'm telling you, sending John to exile was the wrong move. I mean, the advantage still would have won or booted Fanguy this round, but like ignoring the advantage, it was just the wrong move.
Who do you send there? If your target is Anthony, don't you send like T to exile?
Yeah, you send T to exile. You know, you just
For
get
sure.
really.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of using exile to when the numbers are that close. Using exile to make sure you have a majority. Like, there's really no reason to when you have like a one person majority, if that, you don't send an ally of yours. You know, you're immune, so it doesn't matter to you, but you don't send someone if you're trying to keep your alliance around. I mean,
so if she sends T to exile, T can't use her advantage, right?
yeah.
And then Fanguy has the block of vote. Anthony all but goes in that situation if she sends T to exile.
Yeah, but she has no way of knowing T has an advantage in her defense. There's literally no way for her to know.
She's still Anthony's, ride or die.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a vote you take
Just based
away.
off that.
For sure. And if you're playing that kind of game, you can approach T after and be like, I really wanted to work with you. I just wasn't vibing with Anthony, but you and me, I sent you to exile. I'm hoping that, you understand why it was for your own good.
Yeah, because like you
You'd be that
said,
kind of person.
dude, John was like, I'm trying to figure out why the fuck she's sending me to exile. And I'm like,
It's because they
Oh, yeah.
literally never had a conversation.
but I know. So he did not take it how she thought he was gonna take it. And I don't know. I think he could just fuck her up in the end, bro. Cause I don't know. I just think, like Mike said, I don't know. I feel like Carrie she ain't involved enough in what's going on. Like she got to be more involved in just getting information from Fanguy.
Maybe she really did think that she had a lot of numbers, because if you have a lot of numbers, it's not a bad move to send your like third or fourth closest or second, first, second, yeah, so second or third closest ally, like,
She
to
thinks
get
she has
maybe
Dot.
get an advantage.
She thought she had Dot and maybe Rochelle.
Dot,
But-
Fanguy. I don't know if she thought she had Rochelle. That's just a bad read.
Well,
After-
she at
after
least
the
thinks
Miguel
she has
vote.
Dot, but Dot's with Rochelle, T, and Anthony. So that's kind of the line that's been cut between them.
She thought
You
she
don't
had
have Dot,
Fanguy.
you don't have the votes.
Alex. She thought Alex had Nav. She thought she had Dot. So
The
that's
tie at least.
That's more than a tie. That's 5 out of 9. I mean, just the returnees is
Mhm.
over half the tribe. They had numerical majority. They could have ran this game down after this episode, barring exile shit. But yeah,
Let's go on to Anthony and T. They have a conversation where at first they want to try and get the votes, but I mean, you guys said Anthony's the guy that gets the votes, and he was okay with that this episode. He wanted to be the one that he was saying Fanguy's name. So, any thoughts on that?
if you're basically going to get an idle type advantage played on you, hell yeah, pile the votes on me, man. I've done it, as we've seen in season 1. It's fun. It's fun when I'm safe. Let's see who's gonna vote me. It's a good time.
Let's go to speed this up just in case Fanguy does end up coming. I don't know if he will, but we'll talk about Fanguy and Alex for a second. They spent this whole fucking time trying to plot against each other in some way, only to realize in this episode they might need each other a while longer. What happened?
The returnees, as much as they want to work together, just past experiences on previous shows are in the back of their mind. It's always going to make it difficult to trust one another. And we see here, it's just not going to happen. There's no trust between them. They know they're eventually going to have to turn on each other, and they're trying to set each other up before they even get to that point, and it's backfiring.
Days, what is your thoughts on the returnees' paranoia that is happening with pretty much all of them, but it's really the guys more than the girls that are paranoid?
I mean, like I just said, you can't stop thinking about things that happened in previous seasons. It's always going to be in the back of your mind. You know how dangerous these folks can be, and you can't keep your mind off of thinking about it. Like, it's really difficult to do. And once you start thinking about it, you lose track of the rest of the game. That's what Alex has done. He's too focused with Dot possibly coming after him, maybe Carrie. Fan Guy was worried about others coming. Yeah, it's hard to stop that paranoia once it starts to roll down the hill. You can't stop it.
Listen to the paranoia expert, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Take it from someone who knows.
Aspen, look, I love Fan Guy and Alex to death, but I think their ego was what has been a downfall for at least Fan Guy so far. Now, Alex has a lot of damage control to do, but do you think their ego of thinking, I think they thought they were the best at this game and they had to worry about each other, and lost fact that, Rochelle and Dot can pull off moves of their own, which they have.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Fan Guy was not thinking about Rochelle in that way. I guess he thought that he had convinced Alex to keep Rochelle off his back, and Dot to keep Fan. I don't know. Whatever they was thinking.
I mean, I don't understand why they thought that, though, because they told each other basically that the other one was coming after them. That was their whole plan, was to tell Alex Dot's coming after you, and Alex to tell Fan Guy that Rochelle's coming after you. I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know.
All right, so Fan Guy, don't listen to this part. I don't want your ego to go even higher. But I think Fan Guy is a good player. I think he's good at the game. Now, what I think his biggest mistake is simply just underestimating Rochelle. Because this season, I think Rochelle is the best player in the server right now. I think she is playing the best game. And I think if she gets to the end and doesn't win, it's a robbery. I'll say that right now. The problem is going to be getting there, but she's not even being targeted right now. She's not even on people's radar, which again, that's a good thing. She's a damn good player. And I just really think that Fan Guy and Alex got tunnel vision for each other, and they just completely ignored the real biggest threat to their games.
To save Fan Guy's ego a bit, a question for you three. What role does being sent to exile so many times play in the downfall of your game?
A lot, because you all the time are being excluded. And I mean, he got one advantage from being there that many times. And it's like, bro, you just was missing out on conversations. I'm not sure how long they be in exile, like for how many days and how much stuff they miss. But yeah, I definitely, bro, fuck no, I would not be wanting to go to exile as much as he was pushing to go to exile. You just get left out. If they ain't talking to you, they talking about you.
He was barely pushing. He pushed like one time because he knew there were goodies there.
I mean, I will say he pushed hard a few times.
Okay, well, man, I don't know. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You go to exile, and now everyone thinks you have an advantage. So hell, why didn't I just go back and try and actually get more advantages? It's like the other players aren't stupid. They know that there's like a danger of there being things on exile. At the very minimum, most of them have figured that out. So without ever going there. So it's bad. It's a bad look to keep going to exile, because even if you trust someone, if they go to exile 4 times and they tell you they have one advantage, you're like, ooh, are they snowing me? You know what I mean? And he wasn't. He was being truthful. But
so let's put this in a different way. And I'm going to ask Fan Guy if he shows up. What is more important, advantages and safety or information in the game?
You can win a game just off of advantages. So I'm going to say advantages.
No, I'm definitely going to say information, because you can go the whole game without having no advantages. bruh. And if you plugged in enough to have all the information from each source, you don't need an advantage. You straight.
The problem is information can easily be false. What isn't false is this idol that I found that I know isn't fake. I'm gonna play it. I'm not going home today.
Interesting.
It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat guaranteed safety. You win
I
every
wanna-
challenge or you'll get every advantage. You're probably gonna win. You're gonna make the end and at least have a shot to plead to the jury.
Definitely a question for Fan Guy if he shows up for real.
I will say he will be coming, so let me try
Oh,
and
okay.
speed this
Hell
up
yeah.
a bit. So let's go to Dot telling T that he's basically the spy on the other side right now. How do you guys feel Dot is doing as a spy?
Don't verbalize that, right? Like, even if they know it, don't just say it outright, because then you were the first to go if your side is getting votes, right?
Yeah,
I
because
think I think the mole is the bottom of the totem pole at some point.
yeah. I mean, who the fuck wants to be a rat? Who, you know, like I think Dot, besides you, Days, I think Dot was not thinking when he said that, because instantly T is like, oh, is he doing that to me? Like, he could do that to me. And yes, he doing it to you.
He's pretty loyal to T and Anthony. He really has been. I mean, they don't know that for sure, but he
you're
hasn't been disloyal. It's
I
like
mean,
with
he
it's like
didn't
with the,
vote with them though. So is that being?
But that was the plan. That was the
No,
plan.
not this time. Not this time. Last time when he voted for Alex, when he had his own.
Well, he
agenda.
got
Yeah, that's 'cause he had
left
his own
out of the
agenda.
vote.
they never told him. They didn't have a chat with him to tell him what was really going on. So like he was just left in the dark. That's not his fault, really.
Okay, all right.
He
I'll
didn't
back
vote
off
for
of that.
Anthony.
I'll back
He
off of
voted-
that, y'all.
I thought
Alright,
you were
alright.
Team Dot now. What happened to you being Team Dot this season?
I was
Y'all jumped on it, so I was like, nah.
Aspen's like me with Big Brother. But so Dot didn't know this at the time, but him telling T this kind of helped T realize she could use Dot to know if she should play her power to use the information that he gives her. But let's move on to I mean, where do you guys think Nab stands at this point in time? Last time he flipped.
He's got to be more visible, right? Mike, do you agree with that? Like, yes, he's flying under the radar, but if he gets to the end, does he get any credit for anything at this point?
He has chosen his lane, and we saw a lot of good positive content from this episode, and it was because people are liking him. And if the jury's going to turn out to be bitter, and you're well liked, and you make the end, you can win. You don't have to be a strategic mastermind. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be in control. If everyone just likes you a shit ton, so they don't vote you, and then they need you, and then they don't vote you, and then they need you, and suddenly you're at the end, and all these people in the jury are people that like you, you know, that's good. The only thing that I would say is a negative is that he was telling the truth to I don't remember who. Was it Anthony about who he voted? Or was it, who was he talking to?
He
Alex?
was telling the truth to Alex. He told the truth to everybody, honestly.
He told the
it
truth to
Dot,
everyone.
too. Yeah.
But the thing is, there were like one or two of those people
Dot didn't
who
buy it at all. He thought he was lying.
didn't buy it. He's telling the truth and it's not believed. That's always a bad feeling.
He was telling the truth to figure out the truth about how the votes went down in that previous eviction. And I think him and Alex almost figured it out. Like, they were so close to figuring out that Dot was the one that voted for Alex. They just didn't quite put it together. And that was the whole point of them talking about that.
Which I wish they would have put it together. Cause it was really sad for Dot to like have a good play and like not say nothing, and then it just be fucking ruined. Absolutely ruined, because he can't keep his little mouth shut. And I just would have told T. I would have stuck to telling T. I would have never said nothing to Anthony or who else did he tell?
No.
That's it.
Well, he told those he's loyal to: T, Anthony, and Rochelle.
I don't know. I feel like it's gonna come back and bite him in the butt. Honestly, I hope Alex take Dot ass out, and that's just my personal opinion.
Wow, you have really changed.
I want them to be the final two. No, I'm kidding. But,
Speaking of that, though, how do you guys feel Carrie did trying to mediate Dot and Alex in this episode from wanting, well, Dot to target Alex and Alex thinking Dot's targeting him.
It's like trying to use Scotch tape to fix the Grand Canyon. It's
It's
not
like
gonna
trying
work.
to it's like trying to mop up the ocean with a fucking mop. You know, like not gonna work. Not gonna work. I'm with Mike here. It's stupid. Why try?
Well, let's see where to go before we add Fan Guy. Well, speaking of Fan Guy, though, one of the things, do you think it was Exile and him having less time? Why do you think he never tried talking to Rochelle? And this goes both ways. Rochelle never tried talking to him, but Rochelle has the pull at the merger. Fan Guy doesn't.
I will say, when I played with Rochelle, it's very, no matter how good of a relationship you have with her, it is very difficult to get the information you need out of her.
I think
Just like Carrie said, she's tricky. Well, now Aspen had a different relationship, I guess, but I don't know. I struggled with her, which is why I needed her to go. But she's showing exactly why. Like, she can get done what she needs to do without telling a lot of people about it. And I think Fan Guy might have struggled with that.
I think Fan Guy knew that he wasn't gonna be able to sway Rochelle. Honestly, because he wasn't trying hard enough. He should have played it. You know, he was okay with her having those like misconceptions or like the bad thoughts and vibes. I would have squashed that shit day one. Like, look, I'm sorry about season 1. Let's, put that shit under the rug. And because I assume that she's not mad at me for not like choosing her to come with me to the final. But I don't know. But if we ever played again, I'd be like, look, we good. Like, let's squash that beef. If it is any, I would straight up be putting that shit out there, bro. Like, I don't know. I feel like Fan Guy just didn't try. I feel like he was like, fuck it.
I think it's very bad socially when you're just totally discounting somebody socially.
Yeah. I don't know though if she would have bought it. I mean, I feel like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I feel like that's kind of her philosophy. I feel like she wasn't going to be snowed by Fan Guy again, and Fan Guy wasn't going to take her far because she's dangerous. And if he was working close with her, he would have seen that, I think, a little better than he actually did.
Yeah, I think it still could have been like squashed a little bit for a while though, because I don't think Rochelle was really anti-Fan Guy until Alex told Rochelle about Fan Guy not wanting her to go to Exile.
Exactly. So I don't know. I feel like it's easy to get information out of Rochelle. Maybe that's just me, but like I feel like she told me everything the first season. Like I knew who she was voting, how she felt, all that.
She's when you're talking to her and she doesn't want to give information, she's really good at just turning it around and not giving you anything. It's just so frustrating.
You know what? Honestly, I could see that. Like it would be. And now she got the baby too. She probably just be hella like. I noticed that when people ask her certain stuff, and I'm like, how is she? It was in her conversation with Carrie, I think, and she was explaining why she chose Miguel. And I'm like, damn, girl, you're doing a really good job of not really saying you wanted him out and you just was taking him out. Like she made it believable. I don't know. Like she be throwing me off. She done stepped her game up.
Why do you guys think Fan Guy, out of all the people he was trusting in this episode, Mike, why do you think he told Nav the answer, the soap opera answer at Exile?
Because Nav is like a god at the social game. Like, I mean, he really is. I mean, he's just like, everyone feels like he can trust him. He's like very clearly in with Alex, but like Fan Guy's like, oh, I can always count on Nav. And like he just keeps mentioning offhand. He's like, yeah, I can count on Carrie, and yeah, I can count on Nav. Like, okay, so.
I mean, at this point, I'm not even playing with him, and I want to tell him my life story. Like, he's receptive when you talk to him. He just seems trustworthy. I don't know. He's got me snowed.
What?
You know what's funny? Can I mention one thing from Cam DeRosa here because it's relevant?
Wait like a couple more minutes.
Okay, all right. Fine.
Let's just quickly get through this end game here before we get to that and get to Fan Guy. So basically, Alex is kind of the one that tells Fan Guy, but Dot tells Anthony that Alex is the one that told Van Guy. So they come up with the whole plan. Well, T was already going to do it anyway, but Anthony tells Dot to talk to T about the advantage. And so in the end, T uses the advantage correctly. But do you have any thoughts on this sequence of events between Alex and everybody and Van Guy and everybody?
Almost thought Anthony was accidentally going to go home. By the end of the episode, so much shit had been said that I forgot about the plan to get votes on Anthony and switch it. I was so confused.
Yeah, no, same. Honestly, I thought the whole episode, I'm sitting here thinking like, they have this fucked up. She can't switch everybody's votes, right? And I just didn't understand what the idol was. It was my dumb ass sitting here thinking like, they don't know what they talk about. And it was me not knowing what I was talking about. So I was hella confused too up until the last second. And I'm like, oh, okay, now it all makes sense. But I think they did a good job, but Anthony is in a bad spot.
See, I thought it was gonna be I thought Nav was the swing vote. What the fuck is happening? Fan Guy going home 4-3. Wait, no, Anthony going home 4-3. And then it was completely wrong about it all. No idea.
When did she have to tell you she wanted to use that, Nick?
During her vote.
Okay. Okay, so she didn't have to like mention it to everybody out loud. That's pretty sneaky right there. That's sneaky.
So any thoughts on Tribal? I mean, T straight up saying that Fan Guy is the one she's targeting to go home. And do you believe Fan Guy would vote for T if T makes the end?
So T's trying to get respect for sending somebody home, even though I'm pretty sure it was Rochelle that kind of masterminded the whole thing with Fan Guy going home. But Fan Guy is not going to vote for T. I think that was just a ploy to get a target on her so T goes home in revenge.
I can't read it because I genuinely thought he was gonna vote for her until y'all like no, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you know what? He really is just putting a target on her little ass, which is some Fan Guy shit. But do you think it's gonna work? Do you think people gonna be like, oh, we need to get T out now? I don't think nobody looking at T like that.
If anything, if I'm Rochelle, I'm gonna push that narrative. So that T does go, and I'm still getting the credit for taking out Miguel and Fan Guy.
Oh, that's smart. Okay.
Lastly, before we get to Camderosta, thoughts on Fan Guy's saltiness, thinking Alex voted for him and telling people about Alex's switch vote, even though good thing Alex lied about his power. But any thoughts on that?
It was nasty. It was he said he wasn't salty, but I tasted a little salt. It tasted a little like the ocean to me. So I don't know. I can't wait till we get here to see what it really was, but it felt like a little bit of Dot and Alex's little debacle. So I'm like, I don't know, Fan Guy. You salty.
He's an ultra competitive person. It's painful to lose when you're extremely competitive. Trust me, I know. I'm extremely competitive. It sucks. Even when you have an inkling, like he knew people were coming for him. This could be it. It sucks. It still sucks.
Well, speaking of salty, Mike, you did watch some Camderosa. What are your thoughts?
I did. Okay. So briefly, going back to the Nav Fan Guy connection. Fan Guy, apparently, I don't remember when I told him, but he apparently knew someone in this season was recommended
during last season's podcast, yes.
Okay. So I said someone from this season was coming in here. And so he had figured out that it was either Miguel or Nav. And he asked Miguel and knew it wasn't Miguel. So he knew at that point that it was Nav. Or assumed, I should say, that it was Nav. So that's kind of interesting that he trusted Nav so much despite thinking he was a buddy of his arch nemesis. And for what it's worth, I told Nav nothing about like any players because I had no idea there would be returnees. All I said was, you should play this, it's so fun. So like,
wait, so his read on Nav wasn't just out of the blue when he said that Nav probably plays like you. Like he had already put it together that
he seemed to think that according to what he said in Camderosa. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And also, I mean, they kind of figured. I mean, Miguel and him obviously figured out that Miguel didn't vote Alex, and so I don't know. I don't think that they obviously haven't figured out there was a banished screwery around yet. But I think eventually that'll come out. Someone's going to spill the beans. Four people knew about it. One of them is going to tell them. I think the jury's going to know by final tribal.
Well, let me add Fan Guy if he's ready here. Oh, we are here. Big money. Josh Fan Guy has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going?
Oh man, no, almost big money, Josh Fan Guy, man, almost big money.
I was looking forward to charging you a missing fee if you missed
bro. I was like, I really wanted to make this thing, and I was like, it's not worth 100K. It's just not. But it's good to see y'all, my online competition games family. It is good to see you guys.
What's up, Fan Guy? We love you.
I love y'all. Y'all commentary has been awesome. Haven't had a ton of time lately, but I've actually broken off time to watch everything. So, and I'm gonna continue to, even though I'm out. So, good job, y'all. Y'all have been pretty good on a lot of things.
Well, first of all, please no spoilers for anything that happens after this, of course. But let's start with the beginning of the game. When you first came in and saw Alex and Carrie, what were your initial thoughts to the game?
I love both of them. I loved their season at the time I was watching it. You know, I felt like I had a pretty good read on both of them. I knew Carrie was going to be probably pretty loyal, and then Alex was just like a wild card. But I like that. Like, I wanted to work with Alex. I was hoping he would actually really dive in and want to work with me and control the game. But I think that first Exile chat we had, anyway, I'm jumping ahead. But yeah, I was happy to see him because I liked him and I knew I would be able to possibly work with him.
Now, what about when you saw Dot and your old girl, Rochelle? It wasn't your new girl, but your old girl.
Love seeing Dot because he and I had just gotten done doing the battle together where we worked together like the entire season. And Rochelle, oh man, I like seeing Rochelle. I just knew that there was some friction there when I finally got to watch our season back. And like, yeah, I just knew she had more friction than I did for sure.
Now, before I turn it over to others, because they have plenty of questions. That's from what we discussed earlier. But what are your thoughts on, you mentioned it, but that whole conversation where you and Alex were trying to decide who goes to exile, looking back on it?
Man, looking back on it and at that point in the time, I mean, it's the same thing. For me, that was a pivotal turning point in my game where I realized that Alex and I's fundamental late game were completely different. And that was the conversation where I had between the Alex Dot kind of situation where my personal meter definitely swing towards Dot because I knew that Alex just he didn't have the same long game as me. So that conversation, people keep bringing it up, but it was a really important conversation that set the tone for so much of how this game unfolds.
You can tell it was important because it keeps being brought up. But
Yeah,
does anybody have a question for Fan Guy? Because you guys had plenty earlier.
Yeah, let me jump on that big one real quick. Fan Guy, what is more important, safety and advantages or information in the game?
That's tough, man. I think you want to have a balance, right? I think I spent way too much of this season on Exile, and it actually hindered my ability to make connections with a lot of people. So I was actually kind of forced to ride the returnee train in my brain because those are the people I had contact with because I was on Exile so much. So I think you want a healthy balance of both. Like, I didn't want to go to Exile during the Miguel vote when John sent me. I really didn't want to go. But you just got to play the cards the way they're dealt the best you can. Yeah. So I think it's a balance. I don't know that I could say one is more important.
If you weren't in Exile so much, would you have tried to talk with Rochelle at least once to try and squash me?
Yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident I would have. Like I said, if you even watch back the clips, she's always like, let's get Fan Guy out. And I'm just like, Rochelle's coming for me. Like, I'm never like, let's get Rochelle out. So there was definitely a different heat level with the two of us where she was actively trying to get me out. And I was just, I was aware of it. Yeah.
To be fair, though, that didn't start until...
I fucking love Rochelle. I don't even I voted with her like the entirety of season 1. So I just don't understand where so much of her heat for me comes from.
Too many alliances, man. Too many alliances every game.
See, I just didn't feel like it was that much beef, bro. Like, I guess that's what I've been telling these dudes the whole time. Is like I wasn't realizing it was that much beef. I thought we all was okay with how things ended. We all felt like I should have won, you know. Like I thought that's how it was.
I mean, this dude, Fan Guy cut me out of the final, and I still was willing to work with him the next game I played with him.
I think why Fan Guy felt that way, maybe Rochelle too, is because Fan Guy never made the whole reunion where we talked about it.
That could have been it. I like Rochelle. I wish she hadn't been actively coming for me so hard, because you won't be able to find one time in this game where I was actively targeting her ever. Because I wasn't, because I was legit fine with her going to the final 5 with just returnees. I was actually going to be okay with that.
See, and I think she wouldn't have became as hard if you guys would have just talked once, but that's why I always felt like that was a bad mistake on both of your parts, really, but it hurt you because the merge wasn't really in your favor.
I'm out. So yes, it definitely hurt me. Yeah, it definitely hurt me.
Any other questions before I go?
I was gonna ask, so what was up with that Godfather like vibe that I felt from you when you were talking to Anthony? What in the fuck was that, yo?
That was just that one chat, okay? Well, first of all, I was stuck in a traffic jam for literally 3 hours, right? And I'm having to do all my chats from these seedy Dollar General parking lots where I'm pulling over. And when that chat was scheduled, I'm just on the road, on the interstate, in a bunch. So I'm already not in the best mood. And then this little Spitfire comes in there. First time I've talked to him one-on-one all game. And he's like, so let me tell you all the things you don't know. And everything he's telling me, I'm like, I know this. I know everything you're telling me. So I'm just like, no, just I just had to be just stop. I'm already annoyed. I don't need you to tell me all the things I already know. Unless you want to tell me about this T's power, I just don't want to hear it. So that was all that was. And I figured he was on the bottom of the numbers, and maybe if with so many unpredictable players, maybe I could have used him. If he decided to, if he was able in my brain to vote out T the next vote, if he was able to kind of show me that, because John's stock had risen 100,000% with me by the fact that he showed me. If you show me something tangible in the game that you're doing for me, you instantly probably shoot up to the top of my list because you've proven it.
What turned around between you and John so much in the couple of rounds?
Bino, man. Fucking Bino. We just talked, and I love John Allen, and John's just he's awesome. And I think we just hit it off, and I think the fact that I was so open, just kind of talking bullshit towards him about him picking his targets on his team, and just kind of let him know I knew where he stood and we were cool. It really swung his opinion of me, and I think I felt that. And therefore, I mean, John was probably way higher on my list than people would have assumed.
The Fan Guy, was you saying to T that you would give her a vote? Was that legit, that you'd vote for her in final tribal council, or was that you putting a target on her?
No, that was maybe both, I guess, because I did appreciate it. She at least came out and said, hey, we're getting you out, even though I didn't know how it was happening. She was at least the one to step up and say it, so I respect the shit out of that.
All right, so mine's more of it's kind of a lighthearted question, and it's something I've been wondering since season 1, and I don't think we've ever discussed it. What are you a fan guy of?
Yeah,
Where's that come from?
So for those of you out there who don't know, that is just my last name. I don't know why I picked it as my alias for all these things, and now I'm just kind of stuck with it. Because, it looks kind of just fanboyish, but I'm actually a fan of everything.
I mean, you have been fanboy quite a few times in these games.
I'm even a fan of you guys. I'm a fan of these people I'm watching. I'm literally a fan of just anything entertaining in life. I find myself pretty entertained by.
I've just thought that's funny. I've always thought it's...
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah. Spoiler alert, last name. I love that line.
Between playing and watching, is there anybody that surprised you most?
Yeah, for sure, Dot. He played a completely different game this season, and it's definitely shocked me, watching what I didn't, just how much his game has changed.
What? How much he wasn't on your side?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one surprised me too, especially because I did go to bat for him so hard publicly with that exile vote. And
I mean,
the fact that we had just gotten done playing an entire fucking season together loyally. You would wonder why that wouldn't earn you some of someone's loyalty. I don't know.
he said he went back and took notes on you and Alex. Do you think he's learned from those notes and played a better game because of it?
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, he's played a real savage game. Better is a subjective term. He's definitely playing savage. With him, I don't know. Like Alex and I play similarly, but different. Because like something I've even realized watching it back is like, I'm actually a big fucking softie. Like I like everyone. I legitimately find like liking for everyone. And so like, but I play poker for a living, y'all. So like I know how to detach. So for me, it's like I really find these likes for all these people, and then you got to start chopping them. I think Alex is just more ruthless about it. Like I legitimately am more like T. Like I kind of feel bad. But whenever I look at my history of the game, the only vote I had to make that I didn't want to make was Infinity in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I really haven't had to vote anyone that I had the deep loyalty to in. So,
Except for me that one time when I wasn't there.
Yeah, well, that you weren't there. If I wasn't there, you could have voted for me with no hard feelings.
Fanguy, do you think it hurt you not having a paranoid player that you could kind of work through and use to your advantage?
Yeah, everyone was paranoid. You not see this? Every single person is paranoid. The newbies, the vets, every single one of us is paranoid. It's weird. I'm normally paranoid, and I wasn't as paranoid this season. Like I really felt confidence in the people that were around me. So the vote, whenever the numbers came out, I was very surprised.
I mean, y'all had that vote.
Yeah, kind of with the
Wow,
vote blocker.
with Dot.
Yeah.
Even the way that went, even without Dot, with my
Alex, right? He had Alex, Carey, him, and
Nav.
Yeah, that's 4 with the vote blocker. You had it. You really did.
Yeah.
That's got to feel real painful. I mean, don't say anything, but I'm assuming that it gets figured out before the end.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like, look, in all the seasons I played so far, and this isn't I think a lot of us are in this boat, so I don't think this is like exclusive to me, but I've known how every single vote's going to go. Every single one, every single season, every single one, I've known how the vote was going to go come vote time. So this was the first vote that went away that I didn't know.
I mean, did you think it was going to be 5-2, just 5-2 Anthony?
I thought I had Carey, Alex, Nav, and Dot, and John, who was in exile.
Yeah.
That was the group I thought I had. I knew someone was flip-floppy because we couldn't get a clear answer about the Miguel situation when I got back in. I'm like trying to probe for what happened with Miguel. I'm hearing different things from different people, shit that doesn't make sense into my mind, to where I'm actually convinced myself that Alex voted for himself, because Nick's got hella footage of me sitting there in a confessional going, Alex did it. He put it on himself. He's just that crafty. Like, so,
wow.
I think I eventually had to tell you that you wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah,
you know what?
I knew that someone in that chain that I just named was doing a little flippy floppy. I just didn't know who.
I've got a question that we were kind of discussing and debating earlier. Do you think you had tunnel vision on Alex this season, as opposed to looking out at a wider
trying
picture?
to work with him?
Yeah.
I mean, not as much after that exile chat, but yeah, I still wanted to work with him because he's really dangerous. I think people view him the same way they view me, like kind of a dangerous player that you really want to get out, or you'd rather just work with, because Alex isn't the kind of guy that I want to make an enemy out of. Like, if you take the shot, you hit with a guy like him. So I would just rather keep him around, because I thought I could paint a bigger target on him as well. But that obviously wasn't the case.
I mean, the irony of what I think is Alex being the most lost in this game at this point, I just feel like he has no idea what's going on.
Because he's everywhere. It's because he's everywhere. People say I'm everywhere, but I'm not. I haven't really talked. Anthony requested that chat with me. I really haven't had a one-on-one with T or Rochelle. I request chats with people that I'm trying to stay on the level with, and you only have so many of those.
And I think you got a suspicion on Dot when you hit him this episode with the "You're not requesting chats with me anymore, bro." You know,
Yeah.
you're not.
Hit him with the real talk. Hit him with the real talk.
Hit him with
Real
that.
talk.
Bro, Mike, I gotta keep.
I would be real with you.
Like, yeah, no, it's true. I did. I mean, I had a sneaking suspicion it was him, but I also it could be Alex. Alex is just so all over the place that I was confident, as you could tell by which we're not going to get to yet, but my exit speech, I was confident Carrie was with me. Of all of them, Carrie was the one I felt the most sure about.
I got a question for you, and it's just kind of a general. It's Survivor, Big Brother, or The Challenge. What's your favorite?
I like watching The Challenge of those three. Old school Big Brother because I grew up on it, but I like Survivor more than Big Brother nowadays for sure by a lot.
And what do you like to play the most?
The Challenge, because I like to fight for my life. Like I feel like, you know, I'm well-rounded at most challenges. So like if somebody wants to come for me, I want to be able to stay, well, okay, you're going to fucking step in the ring with me and we're going to, you know, see how.
You just like being trashy like the rest of us, and Online Battle gave us that opportunity.
Yeah, that was the trashy season.
Hey, no, don't write my season off as the trashy season. No, that was brilliant.
It was just like the
top-tier
challenge.
gameplay.
It was like the challenge. And that is my favorite because,
The older the challenge.
I feel like competition is one of my stronger suits. I guess I have a better social game than I even realized this season because everyone was kind of like painting me as a target and wanting to work with me. It was weird. But yeah, so yeah, I definitely like the challenge. Yeah, for sure. But Survivor rocks too.
So your initial thought when you got voted out was Alex turned on you. Is that why you said about his advantage?
Yeah, 100%. Whenever the votes came out that number, I knew Alex and Nav were a voting block of 2. And so when I didn't have at least 2 votes with me, I immediately discounted that it was Alex because I knew him and Nav were voting the same way. So because the switch of it wasn't a public power, it legitimately looked to me like it was a 5-2 vote. And the only person I really felt I could count on was John and Carrie.
So you believe that what Alex told you he had was actually what he had? Was there any suspicion that he was lying to you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, yes to both. I mean, you can't really believe a lot of what Alex says. You know, I know people are going to say that about a lot of us, but if you actually trace conversations, watch the way things are said and what people are saying, Alex is definitely one of the most dishonest players of all time on these.
Let's tack onto that. In this game, who is the best at lying to your face on cam?
Alex.
Okay.
Damn, I thought you were gonna say Dot.
No, he does little certain things that give away things with him. I like you even said in that last conversation. Like I just had a bad feeling. Like I just had a bad feeling. But I still wasn't sure. But I wasn't sure about him still because I know how much I was trying to do for him. So I couldn't logically come up with a reason that he wouldn't work with me because. You know, like T got the advantage menu, which was only available to newbies. And that's fair. That's fair because we had the advantage of prior relationships if we choose to use them. So I thought that was a huge tool in this game was having prior relationships. And I was going to use that to my benefit. And I, in my rational ass brain, can't come up with a reason that anyone would not want to use that to their advantage if they know they have someone that is like going to be loyal to them.
Would you say it wasn't optimal play?
It was, yeah, dude. I would say for sure on his part that is not optimal. Like you utilize your prior relationships. I know it's a crappy part of the game, but
it
part of the game when you have returnees. It just is. That's why newbies are given certain advantages too, because it's just to balance it out.
It is advantageous for you having prior relationships from these previous seasons. What disadvantages do these prior relationships also bring?
Paranoia.
For me now, for sure, right? As of now, tons of paranoia. Going into this season, I'm naive, guys. I'm naive, bro. Y'all know it now. I really am. I legitimately was just like, returnee strong. I hate even being that guy, but I was, because I thought prior relationships should trump new relationships if they weren't bad relationships. And I had good relationships with all those people except for even Rochelle. That's what I mean. Like, Rochelle knows I could be loyal to Final Four, so fucking, I'm going to be loyal to, like
Yeah, you and Carrie seemed returnee strong, but Dot, Alex, and Rochelle had different ideas on how to play that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you feel when you found out Alex lied about his advantage?
Watching it back, I mean, I was, no, it didn't, it was surprising, but again, not surprising because it's Alex. So, and nothing really surprises me with him. I didn't know what his confessionals about me were going to look like when this season aired. I had no idea. I knew I was trying to be loyal to him, though.
Well, get in your last questions with Fan Guy.
I've gone through all of them, I feel like. Fan Guy, expand on this quote. You can be loyal and still be dishonest.
Yeah. I mean, I have allies that I would never vote against, but I might lie to them about a power or what somebody told me or something like that. But it's not to target them or any of my other allies. So I think loyalty is black and white. Like, it's how you vote. Like, there's no other. Loyalty comes with votes. Words are, lost in translation sometimes, et cetera, and can be twisted. So, I think there's plenty of times I'll lie to an ally, but I'm never going to target them. So what does it really matter if I'm,
Yeah, I felt like I had that with you in the battle. Like, I felt like we had an understanding that, we're going to be loyal to each other, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to tell each other everything. And we knew that, and that's why we got along well as partners.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, I'm not, I share a lot of info with my people, but I may not share everything, or I may, share something with someone else that I'm working with that you don't know about, but it's not going to be actively to sabotage you. It's just going to be used as information, which is like currency in these games.
Any final questions?
I'm loyal as fuck. Sadly, I'm actually loyal as fuck.
You are.
A lot of people are not, and that's why I'm naive. And I'm
the
out.
problem is figuring out whether you're being loyal or you're just being friendly. You really got to know. You really got to be able to read.
I feel like I'm very clear with the people that I'm closest to. I actually feel like even like when we brought you in the battle, Mike. Like, I was open about, hey, we're working together. I'm not going to vote for I'm very clear with the people that I'm actively working with.
And
so
I had no reason to doubt it past that point.
If you ever play with me in the future, anybody out there, and I just tell you I have your back, but we're not talking about specific plans, maybe you're on the bottom of my totem pole.
I mean, it does feel like you and Dot, you two are the car salesman of these games. Like, you just really, it feels like you're trying to sell me on something, but you're just trying to get me over and get more money out of me.
Yeah,
I know that's not true because I've played with you loyally.
I like talking about, these games and strategies and stuff. I'm just that dude. And so, yeah, I think anyone who's down, who's that kind of like competitive side, you're going to sense that in me. And if you like it, you're going to want to work with it. Cause I'm going to go back for the team. I'm the opposite of Nicole, who I loved. She was willing to want to participate even if she thought she was, and I'm the dude who's like, no, I'm going to go every fucking time if it gives us the best chance to win. And if you need to go every time so it gives us the best chance to win, then I'm going to let you go every time. It's just a fundamental difference in how, we view the game, but I'm just super competitive. So I just want to win. And yeah.
Do you think that competitiveness is why you grew as a target?
It's the only thing I can think is that it showed too soon. I knew I was a big target, but I didn't know I was being targeted like by my own people as well as the other side. Like even like Alex, who didn't actively, turn on me, he was still kind of batting my head around as a target in his mind and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely surprising. It is what it is. I mean, I can't hide it. It's just how I am.
Let's go ahead and play that one word game, Fan Guy. The first word that comes to mind when I mention a person's name. We will begin with Miguel.
Cool.
How about Nicole?
Baltimore Ravens.
She is Baltimore. How about we'll go with T.
Sneaky.
How about Anthony?
Extra.
How about Nav?
Good.
We'll go with the returnees now. How about Carrie?
Amazing.
How about Rochelle?
Irrational.
How about Dot?
Disloyal.
And how about Alex?
Crafty.
You're right, Aspen. It does taste a bit like the ocean.
Told you. I told you. Hey, this is my last question, fan guy. Why did you, Carrie, and Dot not try to have a Texas threesome? You know, like, or do you feel like?
Every chance I got, I was trying to bring those two together. I honestly just didn't realize how big the rift between Alex and Dot was. Had I realized just how big that rift was from both sides of that, I think I would have taken a slightly different approach to the R returning thing.
All right, any final thoughts?
Awesome season. You guys are doing awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pretty good damn season.
I have
It's
one
very
final
strategic.
thought. Nick already knows this. This is probably edited out. That power's some bullshit. It's overpowered.
It's not. I will argue against it for eternity.
It's great for entertainment value.
Yeah, and had it not been used against me, I probably might have a different take on it. But like, you got to understand from my perspective, I've known how the vote was going to go for fucking however many votes I've been a part of. And so the fact that if I know who the target is that week, I can fucking ricochet it to anybody I want. That thing is stronger than an immunity idol. That thing is the strongest power in existence.
It's not the strongest power in existence, but expect the unexpected.
But you just have to know the target, which isn't always that difficult.
I
You
think
have to know
Super
both the
Idol's
target
better.
and
Super Idol's
no,
better
not
if it
necessarily.
exists.
No.
I would prefer that to an immunity idol because, like, you could just target whoever you want. Like, bam.
Yeah, me too. I would rather have that power than an immunity idol because you can use it like an idol, but you can also pick who's going for sure.
Use it on yourself, whether you know the votes are and as long as you send it to someone who you know is safe, you're not it's not gonna backfire. So yeah, that power fucking sucks. But I got it is what it is, and yeah.
I will say I don't think you've known every vote that you were a part of, okay? Because there's no way you knew Dot and Meg were voting for each other on that night.
Touche.
I mean, at least we can say that Fan Guy is no longer Mr. Second Place.
True. I think that kind of helps you actually.
Less of a target. No, I didn't know how every vote was going to go from every person, but I knew who was going to get the majority of the votes at every vote I was a part of.
Okay, that makes sense.
You were a real contender to win this game till she got that advantage. So I can see why you think it's kind of screwy, but
I appreciate it, man. Because I actually think I had the returnees. I'm not gonna say I had them on lock because they're obviously all plotting against me.
Yeah.
But none of them was gonna take that first. You know what I mean? The first group shot. I think I could have faded that for a while. Yeah, I would have gotten around to talking to her. That was not like I don't like Alex and Dot who were like, we're not gonna talk unless we're forced. I think I would have gotten around to talking to her. Show.
I think that it just goes to show that even though there may be, although I disagree, an optimally way to play, you can't discount what luck has to do with your game, whether it gets you to the end or if it takes you out. There's still an aspect of luck you have to contend with in these games. And I think Fan Guy got unlucky a bit this season.
yeah, no, for sure. You really did. Because like we were going over earlier, you had that vote. You had that vote on Anthony with the vote blocker. You had it. Even without Dot, you had the numbers. Assuming Nav, I think, yeah, you had it. You had the vote. Nav won an Anthony Gunn. You had it, and you lost because of an advantage. And it always sucks to lose like that.
It does. It's a little salty, Aspen. You're right. Nah, you know, it's had time.
Well, Fanga, you could always say you were the first victim of the vote swap. So
Yeah, dude, for sure. It's a, you know,
You say that like there's more.
oh, it's
You
not
know,
going away.
we got into it. He's like, that power's never going away. So just so you know.
That
It won't be
that
on
power
there.
plays into, like, one of my things in these games is simply not having my name come up as a vote, because if your name is a possible vote, an advantage like this can send you out the door. So instead of just trying to control what's happening, just don't be a vote at all.
Yeah, if you notice, I even said in one of my confessionals after the fact, I was like, unless some, or maybe in the jury chat, I was like, unless some power got played or something. Because, like, I was really confident. Like, I think that's why I was so salty and like, what the fuck just happened? Because I was really confident in all the people who actually voted with me. I felt very good with them.
I can't wait to see you find out about it in Cam DeRosa.
Yeah, same.
Not a
Stay
happy
tuned.
camper. Not a happy
Yeah,
camper.
I will, spoiler alert, I will eventually find out at some point.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Four or more people knew about it already. Someone's gonna spill the beans when they're out.
And it's interesting being a juror because you never know what kind of juror you're going to be till you're in the spot. Like,
Yeah, this is your first jury trip, isn't it? Yeah.
You never know what kind of juror you're going to be until you're in the spot of being a juror.
Well, so far
he's
we've
gonna be
learned that
better.
you've taken people off of Instagram. So that's what we've learned
Whoa,
so far.
what? People are removing each other from social media?
I took off everyone. That was
Wow.
No, I added them all back since. I didn't want to. I knew that was my only contact method to them, and I was about to start texting people like, "What the fuck just happened?" But I wanted to keep it real for the game, real talk. So I actually removed that temptation. I took them all off of Instagram
Wow.
Until the season ended, and then I
Good
added
on
them.
you.
I mean, look, I know you said no talking about jury, but yeah, I wanted to know. I actively want to know what the fuck happened to me at this point. If it didn't show in the first jury chat, stay tuned. I really do want to know what happened, and there will be some investigations that'll make those chats worth watching for sure.
Bet.
All right, we shall end it there.